Today, the death toll rises in the Kabul terror attacks. Nearly 200 are now believed to have been killed in the suicide blasts. Also, Biden gets into a testy exchange with a reporter, and a new study says previous COVID infections protect against Delta much better than the Pfizer shot. Who would have guessed? I don't know. Almost like someone that you're looking at right now, right here in front of you. We've got a lot coming up today, and it starts right now. Welcome to the news and why it matters. I am Sarah Gonzalez. Happy Friday, and it's a good day here in the studio. We have Jaco Booyens, of course, BlazeTV contributor and host of the Jaco Booyens show. And also, I'm so excited to say that we also have Zuby, rapper Zuby, back in studio as well. You are like a fan favorite.
Fantastic.
And I also, it's funny because there are some people who I can tell they don't watch every program because they'll be like, you really need to have that Zuby guy on. And I'm like, well, where were you guys? We had him on several days whenever he was here last, but I can't just will him to appear from the UK.
Well,
so now you're in town. Now you're in town. So we are excited to have you back. How has your trip been so far?
It's been incredible. It's
Good.
been an absolute love fest, every single city. In the past 2 years, my US audience has really grown significantly. And I could see that from numbers online, but it's another thing being on the ground and meeting so many people. And I'm happy to be here, really happy to be here.
Can you just stay?
I can until end of October.
Okay.
And then beyond that, we'll see. Some people have said that I could, go back down under the southern border and come across
that's why I'm asking. I mean, it seems to work for them just fine.
Yeah. So I don't know. It's obviously a thing. I could try it out, but I think for long-term reasons, it might be best to try to do it
Zuby, as an immigrant, let me tell you, let's do it the legal way. Let's do it the right way, because we actually want you to stay. Yeah. When the wheel turns and we take the White House back, we don't want you to go. So
all right. So let's get into the headlines of the day. So the death toll in Thursday's terrorist attack in Kabul rose overnight. More than 200 people are now believed to be dead from the twin suicide bombings outside the Hamid Karzai International Airport, where, of course, many people were desperately trying to escape the country on final evacuation flights. Now, this comes at a time that we are finding out that there are new reports that the United States, the officials from the United States in Kabul supplied the Taliban with a list of names of U.S. citizens, green card holders, and Afghan allies who were supposed to be permitted access into the outer perimeter of the airport. So all of these, this is basically a kill list, right? If you're giving this to the Taliban, yes, knowing who they are. You've got all of these Afghans who are our friends. I mean, you're handing it over to the Taliban. And we're living in this weird world where even people over in Canada, I don't know if you guys saw, we talked about this on the program yesterday, that there are Canadian officials who are saying, our brothers, the Taliban, when they're addressing them. And so we're living in this weird world where we're giving the Taliban information that they really shouldn't have on our own people, on Afghans, on people who are trying to evacuate and thinking, oh, these people won't use this for any sort of wrongdoing, right? It's hard to believe that this is real life at this point.
Yeah, look, I decided this morning I'm just going to go there, right? Today, the gloves come off. We're now in a place where I'm going to start calling it treason. This is treason. When you start sacrificing American life for some political agenda, when you hand a kill list, literally a list of allies in the Middle East that have helped us, you lived there, and you say, these are the people, here's their names, you should be able to track them. And by the way, can we please ask you, as our arch rival, to protect these people? Because you got to play nice. Just like Joe said, well, they'll wait until the 31st. Oh, oops, sorry, 3 days early, bomb goes off, right? These guys, you do not negotiate with the terrorists. This has been our mantra for as old as time in this country. Because the notion that they would play by any rule, the notion that they wouldn't shoot at a hospital or use a child to be a bomber. It historically has never worked, Sarah. So this is recklessness. It's treason. You now have to start having a conversation of an administration that is intentionally sacrificing American lives. And I have to ask the question, why? Is it just ignorance? Are they that stupid? I can't go there. Not when you see the microphone turned off on a president. Who turns the microphone of the United States president off? Who has that power? And I've said it before. We need to ask, where's the Gateses? Where's the Soroses? Where's the Rockefellers? Where's the ones who really pull? Because Obama, somebody's pulling the strings, right? Okay? So do they want war? Because this is what they're going to make me do, right? At some point, we're going to get to a place, and then I'm going to call them some bad words, where you're going to force me to say, now you've done it. Now we have to go back and wage war to go get our people back. So you force us into a corner here as Americans who don't believe. It was pretty docile. 18 months, right? No deaths. All of a sudden death. So I think it's by design, Sarah. I think they're leaving Americans because these people want to make war because it's the greatest business model on earth. And so this is beyond. I mean, this is treasonous to me. I'm livid over this.
Yeah. Zubi, you know, it would be one thing if we had all the confidence in the world that all of these people that we were providing the Taliban with names of, that all of these people would be getting out. But we have no idea. They most likely, a lot of people who are on this list are going to be left behind. And then what? Yeah.
It's bizarre. You know, I totally agree with what you were saying, as in there are too many smoking guns and weird things that don't make sense. If you run under the assumption that they're trying to do the best thing for the American people and allies in the region, et cetera, if you run under that assumption, then it absolutely makes no sense. Right. So it's at that point where you can't give that benefit of the doubt and put it down to incompetence. I generally understand why people would like to not assign bad motive, but there are certain situations, you know, whether you're talking about the weapons, the weapons and vehicles, et cetera, being left behind, to the fact that the military was evacuated prior to the citizens and allies, to this list that's now been going on. It's like, man, that's too many blunders. For that to just be like, oh, that was just a mistake, that was just incompetence. And then when you're having these situations like the president not wanting to answer questions and, you know, getting in these battles with reporters if he's even speaking to them, all of that stuff, you know, to use your term, treason. And people really don't like to throw those charges out because it sounds very what's the right word, right? It's
hyperbolic.
It sounds hyperbolic, right? But by definition,
correct.
It's correct. By definition, it's correct. I mean, it blows my mind that we're talking about the Taliban again, just in general, right? I mean, I remember when I was in school, when I was a teenager and the Taliban was a thing, you know, this is before ISIS, and, you know, it was the Taliban and Al-Qaeda. Those were the, you know, the Middle Eastern bad guys. And I'm suddenly like, wait, the Taliban? Like, that's almost like that's still a thing? Like, people had forgotten that was even a group, an organization, and all of a sudden in a week, everyone is now talking about the Taliban and Afghanistan again, and it's sad, and it's hard to get your head around. And it's also sad because, you know, we talk about numbers and statistics, but again, those are people, right? Those are people. I know now there are people in the military being sent back over there again. Now there's a guy I know personally who's just been shipped back out to Afghanistan, and it's mind blowing. It's just mind blowing what's going on.
You know. Let's go here. So there's a thing called dip clearance, right? And Glenn Beck, Nazarene Fund, God bless Glenn Beck, God bless the Nazarene Fund, Mercury One, I mean, amazing. We have American civilians who went in on the ground. Laura Logan, fellow South African reporter, they're on the ground. And the U.S. State Department, as directed by the White House, is telling them to stand down, is telling them planes can't leave. This is planes funded by Dallas, Texas civilians, philanthropically raised $20 million, send planes in, getting people on the ground, saying, hey, we can evac these people, and they go, stand down, you can't fly, you can't take them out, telling our soldiers to stand down, when the British troops, mind you, is going in and getting their people. The British troops is going in and finding them, finding a way out, but the American troops are told, stand down, get back in a car, right? This is where I go to treason. When you are proactively, when there is a measure to solve a problem, right? And you block them, and then even go as far as threatening Glenn and the team, saying, we're now going to come after you. How dare you, step into our terrain? We're the State Department, we're the Pentagon. No, you've left our people. And so civilians are saying, we can't leave people. And now you block them. That's when I go to, okay, there's a different agenda going on here. Now it's proactively stopping Americans to getting to safety.
Yeah, and that's scary. That's very scary. I mean, I think there are a lot of people such as ourselves who have a healthy mistrust of the government in general. But when you're actively seeing a government working clearly against the interests of its own people, that's scary, because what does it mean for everything else? And what does it mean for allies, right? A lot of the power that the U.S. has in the world, and I'm saying this as a non-U.S. citizen, is the military power and the reliance as an ally. So if other countries that are allied with the USA are they're sitting there watching this and saying, wait, what's going on here? So what does that mean for the future? Can we rely on them to help us out in these various situations? And then, of course, you'll also have opponents of the USA. They're already forming alliances with the Taliban, etc. And they're going to be sitting there gleefully, like, oh wow, look, they're imploding on themselves.
AKA
right?
China.
Yeah.
China is moving in right now for the rare earth metals. And I don't know if America knows this. We have hardly any rare earths left here. Afghanistan is loaded with rare earths. And China has done this in Africa. They swoop into Zimbabwe. They strip the rare earths. They throw cash at them. They will literally partner with the devil. They will literally go in. They don't care. For them, it's the rare earths, enrich China, kill as many people as possible. They're coming in. They're going to befriend the Taliban. You watch. China. So now one of our biggest economic rivals, China, who hates America, who takes our jobs, is now teaming up with one of our highest rivals in an actual threat that's now weaponized by who? Oh, that's right, by our government. Right? This is a disaster. Putin is saying, I want the rare earth metals. You've got the Iranian Guard literally sending warning to Israel today. We're coming for you. You watch. Israel is under a massive threat because of this, because we're weakened. We're their only friend. They're this little, tiny sliver. I'm 50% Jewish, this little nation in the Middle East with all this turmoil around them right now. This is a disaster. For our allies should be so upset, and they are, because a lot of their people are left behind. So there's French and Italians. Literally, as I'm sitting here, I just answered a text message from my family in Sicily. Say, hey, don't forget, Yaki, you're on a show. Our people are there too. There's Italians stuck there too. It's not just Americans. So Joe trapped, or whoever pulls his strings, trapped a lot of people behind enemy lines.
Well, and he spoke with all of the G7 leaders, and they begged him, do not stand by that August 31st deadline. You've got to push that. You've got to stay longer. And he said no.
Yeah. Well, he asked nicely. He asked the Taliban nicely.
That's right. I forgot.
Guys, I tried. They came back and they said, no, it doesn't work for us. So we just really need to negotiate with them.
Yeah, it really is. It really is frightening and really sad when you look at what the military is right now and what it isn't here in the United States, because we report on this program all the time about these woke ads that they've produced, right? We had the Army ad that comes out that's like, I have 2 moms, and and they're focusing on all of these. They're talking about reading all of these white supremacy books and how, if you're white, you're bad, and all of these things. And yet when it comes to something as basic as this, you would think that you could depend on the military to handle it. But instead, they're focused on, white supremacy and making sure that they're woke, and does this person check enough intersectionality boxes to be able to display them? I mean, it's mind-blowing when you think about how far the United States military has fallen in such a short amount of time.
But I think, again, how would you get the military? Now, again, when you're under rank and under order, your superior, and that's part of the PTSD whole situation is, hey, I did things because my superior said that. But what if you could create a military class that was already woke, that would never question anything, that would never push back, that would never, like now, some of the agencies saying, oh, we're going to see you in court. No, I'm not taking the vaccine. No, you're not doing this. So, yes, you would infiltrate your military class with an absolute woke culture. You dumb them down. I mean, there's so much going on here. We could talk for the next 7.5 weeks and we would not cover all the nuance and things that's really going on behind the screens. And that's what I'm asking Americans to do is pull the covers back. Don't take the obvious news stories from even Fox, okay? So vanilla, so afraid. Come here to the Blaze, pull the covers off this thing and start asking the real tough questions. And then I'm just saying, for those of you who voted for Joe Biden, because there wasn't that many, but still he's in the White House, okay? So for those of you who voted for him, you better ask yourself some serious questions right now. Are you really for this? Is this what you're for? You're really for this, for leaving Americans behind. And I would almost bet now, people are in a conundrum. They're like, I don't know that I can align with this anymore. I don't know. And so, okay, come on over. But you got to get your head screwed on straight, as I said the other day. But this is the result. And can I remind you, the man's been in office for 8 months.
Yep.
God, that's depressing.
8 months. What does 4 years look like?
Yeah.
How much damage do you do in 4 years?
Yeah. But this is the thing
Last
with
word.
cognitive dissonance and buyer's remorse, right? Is because the last election was really a referendum on Trump, right? Joe Biden. There's no such thing as a Joe Biden fan, right? No one is really
no passion for Joe Biden.
People were
anti.
Exactly.
Yeah.
People were passionate about Obama. People were passionate about Trump. Joe Biden was just how much can we make people hate Trump, right? When even in the UK, I was having conversations with people over the last 2-3 years, and they're saying, man, like, when they were complaining about Trump, okay, who would you rather have? They just say anyone's better, anyone. And I'm like, are you sure about that? Are you sure? Anyone?
Well, this is what it looks like.
And this is exactly what it looks like. I mean, it's clear that Joe Biden, even just cognitively, it's hard to watch. I don't even like to make fun of his gaffes because I'm just like, man, this is just like watching an old man break down mentally in public. He's clearly not fit for the job. And it doesn't matter. This is not about Trump. It's not about whether you like Trump or you don't like Trump. It's like, look, this guy is a terrible leader. He's making bad decisions. Whether or not you're pro, anti-Trump, that doesn't matter. That's irrelevant. Objectively, he's making terrible decisions. And as you said, this is only 8 months in.
All right.
And what's waiting in the wings isn't great either.
Yeah, don't even get me started on that. All right, we've got more to come on that note, including President Biden. Still feels, I hate saying that. Joe Biden getting into a heated exchange with the Fox News reporter during a media briefing yesterday. You're not going to want to miss that. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Bonner Wines. So if you like a good wine with dinner, let me tell you about one of the best kept secrets when it comes to wine, the world's first extreme altitude wine club. Our friends over at cowgirlwine2021.com, they're a group of Americans who got tired of the wines that you get at all the supermarkets, and they're cheap, and when you drink them, you feel like crap the next morning. And so now what they do is they have these grapes that they grow at 9,000 feet over in Argentina, and it produces the most amazing Malbec wine. You're going to get notes of blackberry, leather, smoke, a little dark cherry. It's great paired with a medium rare steak, but make sure it is medium rare. We accept no other ways of cooking steak. In all seriousness, these Malbecs are amazing. They taste amazing. They're a great price point. And I got to tell you, we had to stop selling these a while back because they were flying off of the shelves. Everyone loved them so much. So you're not going to want to sleep on this. You got to go to cowgirlwine2021.com. You'll get 50% off of the wine, 50% off of the shipping. By the way, 9,000 feet the grapes are grown, and it actually makes the wines healthier, so you can say you're doing it for your health. You're welcome. Go to cowgirlwine2021.com. That is cowgirlwine2021.com. President Joe Biden. It feels gross whenever I say it. And I know some people get mad at me because they're like, you're not supposed to call him president. But this is the world that we're living in, you guys. I didn't say I liked it. I didn't say I agreed with it. I will say most popular president in American history. obviously. Obviously. 81 million votes, obviously. Okay? So when you watch these news clips, I just want you to keep that in mind. 81 million votes somehow, wink, wink, went into electing this buffoon. So let me show you first, before we get into this exchange with Peter Doocy of Fox News, let me show you again Joe Biden for the, umpteenth time, explaining to reporters that he has a pre-selected list and is instructed which ones to call on during his press conference. This is not the first time that he has done this. Here is Joe Biden talking about being instructed. Watch.
Ladies and gentlemen, they gave me a list here. The first person I was instructed to call on was Kelly O'Donnell of NBC.
That's great. That's awesome. Because we really want our commander-in-chief only going by a pre-approved list. Could you guys imagine if that had been Trump?
Are you kidding me? They would have had his lunch. I mean, again, may I remind, they impeached this guy over a phone call, okay? So this guy is admitting to say, hi, my name is Joe. I am your president, but I have no power. I can't even select who I allow a question to be asked in the press.
When he's always like, I'm gonna get myself in trouble. This is gonna get me in trouble. I'm gonna get in trouble.
Because he's answering those who are running this country.
I know, but
those
this is the president of the United States.
This should scare the dickens out of us. I mean, this is literally a puppet that is placed there to dance when the music plays, right? He can't. It's so rudimentary and elementary, the things he can't even do.
Yeah.
They don't allow him to do. And one, I know they don't trust him because he may, blunder the script.
Right.
As he's done so many times. It's beyond laughable at this point. We better wake up and start with damage control right now. 2022, take that house back. Take the house back, because you want to talk 25th Amendment, you want to talk impeachment. Zero happens when they control the House.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Yeah, that's true. By the way, we had Kayleigh McEnany, who tweeted out, as White House press secretary, I never instructed President Trump to call on a predetermined list of reporters. President Trump could make decisions for himself, speak directly to the American people, and secure peace through strength. I think we all know that is, in fact, the truth. So Joe Biden, later on in this press conference, appeared to get very flustered as Peter Doocy of Fox News, who is, again, the only one typically in that press conference room who can ask those hard questions. But I don't think he was on the list. I think that Joe Biden's getting in trouble with his handlers because he's going off script. But Peter Doocy challenged him to take responsibility, and here was that testy exchange.
I bear responsibility for fundamentally all that's happened of late. But here's the deal. I wish you'd one day say these things. You know as well as I do that the former president made a deal with the Taliban that he would get all American forces out of Afghanistan by May 1. In return, the commitment was made, and that was a year before. In return, he was given a commitment that the Taliban would continue to attack others, but would not attack any American forces. Remember that? I'm being serious. No, I'm asking you a question. Because before... No, wait a minute. I'm asking you a question. Is that accurate, the best of your knowledge? What?
I don't think that the issue is, do you think that people have an issue with pulling out of Afghanistan or just the way that things have happened?
If that image there of Joe Biden looking down is not just completely, that is just so representative. It's a perfect representation of his entire presidency so far, right there.
That right there, in human behavioral science, and when we study body language, if we look at his body language, number one, The fact that he takes his folder and he's clutching it with both hands, and I'm being very serious now, I'm not even being funny. This is true human behavior. He's clutching it. It's like a child holding onto a blankie. It's a security blanket. It's like, please get me out of here. He's praying, earth swallow me in. When he goes down, that's absolute surrender. It's hiding. It's a demoralized human being. It's a human being that, if he could, would probably remove himself from the situation, because he knows, look, they told me I'd be president and I can play president and they make the decisions, but I don't know that I can do this any longer. That's what that says. And our allies see this. The Taliban sees this, right? And so that picture is his presidency. And I'm telling you, this is a human being that's trapped, abused, elderly abused. We've said all of it, but that says it all. Anybody that's worth their salt, call Jordan Peterson. Ask him, Jordan Peterson, what does that say about the man? Forget that he's president, about any man. What does that picture say? And he'll say, that is a demoralized human being. That guy's not ready to fight. That guy's ready to roll over.
Yeah, Zuby.
What more can I say? I mean, it's a shame, you know. As I used to tell people who didn't like Trump, you still want to be. One of the biggest criticisms I had of a lot of the Trump criticism was people hoping for him to fail, right? Wishing on his downfall. And I always say, look, if you're in a plane, you want the pilot to be good, right?
Yeah.
So if the USA or any other country is a plane, whether or not you voted for an official, I think personally that it's unwise to hope for them to fail and hope for them to succeed, right? So even when Joe Biden got elected, I can't vote either way, but it wasn't my personal preference. But it's like, okay, well, I wish him the best, right? The USA is a great country. It's an important country for the entire world, because what happens here does clearly have an impact on the rest of the world. So let's root for him. I hope I'm surprised. I hope I'm surprised and he does well and he pulls through cognitively and he doesn't, hopefully just don't make any huge blunders, essentially. So when I see stuff like that, I know that for some people, they'd want to kind of laugh at it or be like, oh, look how weak he is or whatever. For me, I'm just like, man, that's not good, right? This is not good for the USA. This is not good for the great American people. This is not good for the world as a whole. What you're talking about with the body language and what that's communicating, not just through the words, but through the actions, it just looks weak. It looks weak. People can say what they want about Trump, but he certainly, even if you didn't agree with his policies or like his character, whatever, he was strong, right? He came across as strong, his body language, confidence. Other world leaders wouldn't be looking at him and going, okay, we got a weak one here, right? And you have to remember that there is malevolence in the world, right? There are enemies, there is opposition, and people, like you said, are watching this. And what is communicated both through verbal language and through body language is extraordinarily important. And I do think that when I see stuff like that, it doesn't just make Biden look weak, it makes America look weak.
Yeah.
These events over the past week, it makes the USA look weak. And I think the USA needs to be strong and needs to have that confidence, and people need to be able to see that. And I mean, that's actually how people say safe and secure, because you don't want to ever have to, ideally use that force. Exactly. But people are aware, okay, this isn't a country or, a people who we can just push around and do whatever. And that's what I feel when I see that. You have
a strong military to not use it.
Yes.
Yes. You show strength to not have to enforce it, right? And that's a misrepresentation of the American people, because the American people are strong.
Yeah.
They are philanthropic. They are giving. They care about the world, and that's when you feel like, is the plane gonna fall?
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. We've got more to come. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Hunter Douglas. So if you guys are looking to just maybe revamp some of your home and you're not looking or you're not sure where to start, might I suggest that you start with your shades and your blinds, because redoing those can change the look of your entire room, Hunter Douglas is the one to go to. They have unique shades, shade designs that actually transform raw sunlight. It can cast a really beautiful glow in your room. Let me tell you my favorite part of Hunter Douglas, which is their Power View. So it's automated shade technology, and they actually allow you to program your shades to move automatically throughout the day based on where the sun is. So if the sun is shining in your windows at 8 o'clock in the morning, about so, you just design the program to have the shades go underneath of it, and then you're not getting blasted by sunlight whenever you walk out in the morning to get your coffee. It's really, really cool. The technology is awesome. It's going to totally transform your house. You can go to hunterdouglas.com/why today for your free Style Gets Smarter design guide. They've got fresh takes, creative ideas, smart solutions for dressing your windows. I'm telling you guys, it is a really great solution to really just revamp your entire look of your rooms. You can go to hunterdouglas.com/why. That is hunterdouglas.com/why. According to a new study, now I will say, this has not yet been peer-reviewed because I don't want to see people in the comments like, this isn't a peer-reviewed study. Shut up, all right? I got it, but I'm here to deliver some news, okay? So the study, which was completed by researchers in Israel, shows that people who were previously infected with COVID-19 are reportedly better protected from the Delta variant when compared to those without previous infections and who have received the Pfizer BioNTech COVID-19 vaccine. So now they say that, let's see, researchers' findings argue that people who received both doses of the Pfizer vaccine and who had not previously contracted COVID were 13 times likelier to contract the Delta variant compared to those who had previously suffered an infection. So, for me personally, I'm not a scientist, not a doctor, right? That is not my expertise, but just my basic knowledge of viruses and just diseases. This is the least surprising thing that I've ever heard, right? I'm like, natural immunity, to my understanding, has always been superior to vaccine-induced immunity. And somehow this is still news and it's controversial and they have to say, well, it's not peer-reviewed. And I'm like, does it need to be? Doesn't this just back up how we've always known that our bodies worked? What am I missing something here, Zuby?
You're not missing anything at all. But what's happening with a lot of news right now is what people were saying 6 months ago or 12 months ago or 18 months ago or even longer is suddenly, when it comes out from scientists or certain mainstream media outlets, then that's suddenly when people are willing to accept it.
Right.
If I say it, if you say it, if you say it's, you're not a doctor, you're not an expert, blah, blah.
You conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, it's the credentialism. That's the word I'm using now to describe these people who won't accept anything unless it comes from one of their trusted sources, even if you are simply showing facts. Even facts from the trusted sources, they need to hear it directly. So again, none of us here are medical experts, but this is not anything new. I mean, doctors, from what I understand, and I might be botching this up a little, so don't quote me on this, but my understanding is that this particular virus has, I believe 28 different proteins. So there's 28 things that can be detected in the body, and through natural immunity, you learn to defend against all of them. Whereas with the vaccine-induced immunity, it's just the one specific spike protein that gets detected and being protected against. So if assuming that is correct and true, that totally makes sense from what I know of biology. And again, viruses, as I've been saying so many times, viruses are not new, diseases are not new, vaccines, none of this stuff is new, right? And so we already have this whole body of knowledge, which due to narratives and incentives and people digging their heels in and the tribalism that's been created now, making it a very political tribal issue, people don't really want to deal with facts. People don't actually want to deal with science as much as they say follow the science, trust the experts. Really what they mean is don't question anything, don't think, here's the narrative, just listen to the CDC, listen to the WHO, even though they've been wrong so many times, they've lied so many times, just go along with it. But ultimately, this is also good news. Like the way that natural immunity is just overlooked is mind-blowing. There are hundreds of millions of people who have already had COVID and recovered from it. I'm one of them. You're one of them. Have you had it? Have you had it? Yeah, every single person here. We all have natural immunity. And that yet there will still be people who are trying to force us to take the shot. You have to get the injection. You have to get. It's become very, very cultish. It's been cultish for a long time. People aren't thinking. People just want you to join the team by going through this ritual. It's not about health. I mean, people even talk about herd immunity. Herd immunity can be reached through a combination of natural immunity and vaccination, right? That's always been the case. Again, this is nothing new, but you're getting people pushing this notion that every single man, woman, and child should take these shots, which is absolutely insane. And by me saying it's insane, there are some people who are like, he's an anti-vaxxer. And I'm like, you're a crazy person, right? I was never in my entire life, I've never been called an anti-vaxxer prior to 2021, right? Which is amazing, right? Yeah. I've got, anyone who knows me knows that I'm from a family with a lot of doctors in it. I myself have taken plenty of vaccines. I've never had any issue with them. I have some questions around this one, and more specifically, the way it's been rolled out is very concerning. The coercion, the bizarre incentive policies, the flip-flopping, all of that stuff creates reasonable skepticism and questions, long-term efficiency and effects, et cetera. There's a lot of open questions about this. And I think it's extraordinarily important for this conversation to stay open, right? The conversation must stay open. What's really concerning me beyond the coercion and the forcing and the pushing and the deplatforming, it's this notion that there's just one narrative, and it's a false binary that's been created. Either you're pro-vax or you're anti-vax. There's nothing in the middle, apparently, right? Which is nonsense, because I don't believe anyone on this table is anti-vax in general. It's simply, hey, it's available. The medicines are available. Different treatments are available. You're an adult. You make your choice.
You make the choice.
Don't bully people. Don't force people. Don't try to use the government threats to mandate things. That's all it is, right?
Yeah.
You know, pro-vaccine choice. Simple.
Right. Last word on this, Yaku. Really quick.
Brother.
Oh boy.
Listen, I am anti-vax.
Okay, fair enough. Okay.
For the record, and here's why.
But you want to give people the option.
100%.
Right,
Okay.
so I think that's what he means.
I am anti-vaccine for my
you,
body.
For you.
Not for culture.
Yes, for you.
Because all I can account for is me and my children.
Right.
I can't even make the choice for my wife.
Yeah.
But I can make the choice with my wife for my children. And here's why. I'm from Africa. Okay. Even today, when you have 3 times the amount of vaccines in the United States for children that has infinitely less disease than Africa, you've got a problem. It's been weaponized. Vaccines has become a moneymaker in this country. And so I'm anti you telling me what to do. But if you want the vaccine, I will drive you. I will pay for you to get the vaccine. Right? But you're not making me do anything. But here's the deal, Sarah.
Real quick.
You give them the pinky, they will take the arm. The issue we have to think down the line here for is if you just line up like sheep, when they come around again, and it's not a vaccine for COVID, what is it then, right? And so you're breeding a mentality to give in, right? So I'm anti-vaccine for my body. I'm pro-vaccine choice. I'm pro-life on the other issue.
Yeah.
So that's it. I mean, it's that simple.
Yeah. All right, we've got more to come. First, we want to thank our sponsor, Taser. So here's the deal with Taser. I know you guys, you love your guns, and I do too. But unfortunately, not all of us live in places where we can just actively carry. There are a lot of places, like Zuby knows what it's like in the UK, where they don't let you carry guns for, is it extremely hard to get a weapon?
Yeah, I don't think you can carry a taser either, by the way.
Well, that's okay. That's fine. But my point is that there are a lot of places now where they don't let you protect yourself. They don't let you defend yourself. Right. here in the United States as well. You've got New York, you've got California, you've got a bunch of places now, and you want to be able to defend yourself, protect your family. They make it impossible. You've got to try taser, all right? They use an electrical charge to immobilize attackers for up to 30 seconds. You have time to escape and send emergency dispatch to your GPS location. They've got features like laser-assisted targeting, and I'm just telling you, you don't want to be caught with no protection, all right? More than 237,000 lives have been saved with the Taser network of devices. So right now, you have got to go there. Make sure that whether it's your mom, your grandma, your daughter, whoever it is, make sure that they have some sort of personal protection because they don't live in the UK. And they are allowed tasers in most states. You could get the Taser Pulse Plus or Taser Strike Light at taser.com with promo code Y. You will save 15% right now over at taser.com, promo code Y. Restrictions apply. See site for details. All right, we've only got a couple minutes left here, but the U.S. Supreme Court is permitting evictions to resume around the country by blocking the Biden administration from enforcing the temporary pandemic-related eviction moratorium that, of course, the CDC imposed because the CDC all of a sudden was like this governmental body that we all elected to make these decisions. Oh, wait, no, we didn't. And the Supreme Court agreed that if there was some sort of moratorium to be done, that it needed to go through Congress, that Congress must specifically authorize it. So there you have it. Gentlemen, we've got about a minute and a half left. Zuby, go first.
Yeah, it's the right decision.
Yeah.
I don't know when the CDC became the fourth branch of the American government, but the eviction moratorium is, from a compassion perspective on a very superficial level, it might seem like it makes sense. But landlords aren't all these like super wealthy billionaires who can just afford to go without rent forever, and they've still got their payments, et cetera. So it's the right decision.
Yeah, so many middle-class landlords are like, I deserve payment for this too. This is my way of life.
Yeah. Exactly. I'll say one thing. Let's get back to business. The economy drives this nation. Let's get back. Let's build things. Let's create things. Let's sell things. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
Do you actually see us doing that?
Not with this president. I want to take every single job back from China. I want to become self-sustaining again. Let's open the Keystone Pipeline. Let's drill oil. Let's go. Let's take over. This is time. But under this president, no. But again, you can't wait until you take the presidency back in 2024 and then say, now we're going to plan. No, this is the moment to strategize. This is the moment to fortify, to highlight the leaders, to say, you better get ready. When we take it, step on the gas pedal. So wake up, America. This is the moment. Let's not get caught napping while winning the White House like we did in 2020. Won the White House and had no plan to replace Obamacare. Oh, should have maybe worked on that. So let's start fortifying right now.
I would love it if they actually took your advice. If the people over in Congress actually took your advice, I would really love that. Well, I mean, we'll see. I think
faith, family, freedom.
That is optimism.
Faith, family, freedom.
It's very
right
optimistic. I'm just saying.
We have to do it.
I know.
Get the rhinos out of the GOP, for crying out loud. Let's get all those rhinos out.
All right, we got to take a break. We'll be back. All right, it's Friday and we needed some fun in our lives. So we're doing a new segment apparently that's Hate Mail Friday. And these are comments that my producer has gotten together that are apparently not very nice towards me. And I get to then read them on air. So let's do it. There's one from, here's one from Sally who says, I like your thoughts, but hate your voice. Sorry, it's just annoying. You are annoying. Go back to being a Ritter or something. I think she meant to say writer, but unfortunately, poor Sally does not, in fact, know how to spell writer, so she wrote Ritter. So maybe my voice is annoying, Sally, but I do know how to spell writer. Here's another one from my YouTube channel. Someone who says that they're Nancy Pelosi. Sarah, I want you doing my lawn naked. All right. Sarah doesn't know who the father of her kid is. And Sarah, no small children in the room, please. Sarah needs her nipples clamped, chained to the mower. What is wrong with you people?
Yeah, this is where I want to defend you. like really defend you. Okay, those are fighting words, okay? Come say it in
Who
person.
even comes up with this stuff? You guys are weird and you need some Jesus. All right,
A
you
lot
also
of
need to
Jesus.
follow Zuby. You also
Follow
need to follow
Zuby.
Zuby.
At Zuby Music.
Yes, please. Thanks for being